I wanted to make a video on this topic specifically because I have a lot of friends in my life that have heard me talk about this topic and they say you have to talk about this more, this is very valuable. Or as well, I have a Thursday night guys Bible study that I have in my home. For young men, we have about 15 to 20 people every week, and it's growing very quickly. By the end of 2018, I want to have at least 50 people, and it's going to be just an incredible group of young men. And this topic is something, and this is absolutely 100% related to the online business that I talk about on my channel so often. And I just want to make this video and put it out there just because I feel like not enough people understand this principle and understand this perspective on life, really. And this is coming from my heart. This is coming from, you know, my soul. Like, this is, I believe this and I live by this. So let me start this video off by saying, if you aren't a faith-based thinker, if you're not a Christian, that's okay. I believe you will still gain a lot of value from this video, and I hope you move forward. However, I am going to use a lot of scripture verses, a lot of Christian references, a lot of maybe some words that you don't understand. You know, I'm a faith-based thinker. That's how I live. It's the way I was grown up, and I believe that this will help you, and this will give you a perspective that you wouldn't have thought you'd needed, right? That's sort of what happened to me when I heard this. So let me pass it on. So in Revelations 3, biblically, which is like the last portion of the Bible, God decides like the last thing that we need to hear as humanity is, here's the best way to live, right? God is telling us the best way to live is one way or the other. I think it's Revelations 3:15 through 16 that says, if you're lukewarm, I will spit you out, right? Hot or cold, you guys. 100% dedicated to everything that I'm involved in that moment, or not at all, right? And I believe that that's so true for entrepreneurs because we get so caught up in 1,001 things at a time, and we are so split and we're so thin across 1,000,001 projects that it's impossible for us to zone in and have our one little, like, when I'm making this video, and this is where I'm at right now. As best as I possibly can be, this is what I'm thinking about. What's behind me is what's behind me. My past is my past, my future is my future. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm working on, and this is where I'm pouring my soul out right now, right? And that, I believe, in my heart, is the way that we're designed to live. We are 100% dedicated to everything that's put in front of us, not because it's fun, not because it's cool, not because you look cool with your headphones on and working hard in Starbucks, but because that is what builds momentum towards a life of greatness, is dedicating yourself towards whatever's in front of you, right? Dedication isn't the result of finding something to be dedicated to. Right? Maybe you started a YouTube channel, maybe you started a new business, maybe you developed a new relationship and you want to be dedicated to that. No, dedication isn't the result of finding something to be dedicated to. Dedication is separate. Dedication is a habit you can build, right? So that whenever any opportunity comes into your life that you can possibly be dedicated to, you are dedicated to it, not because it's something that happens to be easy to dedicate to, but because you have developed your dedication level. Right, your willingness to dedicate. So dedication, and I'm going to say dedication 1,001 times in this video, and you're just going to have to be okay with it. But dedication is purely habitual. And let's look at habits. Let's look at the way that humans naturally, psychologically develop habits, right? It's daily, it's reoccurring, it's a commitment. It's the reason that some people go to the gym every day and some people don't. It's the reason that some people have a diet that works for them and keeps them healthy, and the reason some people don't. It's the reason some people make their bed in the morning and some people don't. It's habits. It's what we do over and over again that slowly begins to build and gets easier and easier as we continue to do them, right? Psychologically, as you think about something more or commit to something more and more, the more times you do something, the easier it is for your brain to access that pathway. That's a habit. That is a developed habit. That's why breaking habits are so hard. That's why breaking a habit is impossible, right? Not impossible, it's hard. It is hard to break a habit. And the wonderful thing about habits is that when you develop a good habit, that good habit will turn into more good habits, will turn into more good habits, will turn into more good habits, but the same with bad habits, right? And so again, we're talking about dedication here, but I want to talk about how you can develop dedication. Because dedication is a habit, we're talking about how you develop habits. So building habits. Building habits starts with something small. It starts with making your bed, right? every day, I've trained myself, I make my bed, and then I go on to the next thing. Because when I make my bed, and I'm going to read off this list that I've written out, and I gave it to a Bible study that I lead, and they loved it. It starts with do your bed. Doing your bed turns into potentially maybe cleaning your room, because you started off on a good pace, right? That turns into behaving well with your family and loving the people around you, because you have already set the standard high for yourself that day, you might as well follow through. Then it turns into nurturing good thoughts. It turns into having good thoughts and thinking positively and thinking, wow, I love my family, and your family will give that right back to you if it's a healthy environment. The people you love will love you back. That will nurture good thoughts, right? As that turns into striving for more momentum, you strive for greater wisdom as you begin to realize all the positivity, all the opportunity that's everywhere to do good unto others. And from there, you're like, all right, I'm going to seek this wisdom. I'm going to seek more wisdom in this arena. You read some books. You read some books and you gain wisdom, right? And from there, you develop that wisdom. You put it into play, right? You develop relationships with wise people because you begin to recognize the value of surrounding yourself with wise people in life. And then you take what you've learned and you pour into people. You pour into your closest loved ones and strangers on the street. And then as that effect rolls out, as the butterfly effect rolls out from your good habits and from your pouring out into people, by the end of your life, you've essentially affected and impacted and influenced millions of people, right? Does that make sense? And so it starts with doing your bed. It starts with getting up and doing your bed, and it ends with having impacted millions upon millions of people. And that, I believe, is why we need to be dedicated to everything that is put in front of us. We don't think about what we wish we were doing. We don't think about what we could be doing. We don't think about what I will be doing 2 hours from now. We don't think about what happened 3 hours ago. We focus on this right now. This is where I'm at. That's why some of the most successful entrepreneurs, business owners, are the type of person where they say, hold up, I'll get back to you in a sec. Please stand right there. They get what's done over here on their phone, on their laptop, whatever. And then they come back to you, they're like, okay, that's done. I'm here now. I'm here. I'm back with you. I'm going to pay attention. We are going to talk, right? That is a habit that you can build. And so looking at this, understanding what we know now about dedication, and if you're a Christian and if you're a biblical scholar, you know who Saul is, you know who Saint Paul is, you know that Saul went to Paul after God converted his heart, right? It's a classic story. Paul is considered one of the most influential figures in the Christian gospel. And he started off as a murderer of Christians. He hated the faith. He hated Christians. He hated God. He believed it was against Mosaic law, right? And so he would send out armies to murder Christians and behead people that proclaimed the name of Jesus. And with that in mind, why did God, of all people, choose this horrible murderer to become the voice and the face of the Christian movement at some point, right? Why did God choose him to impact millions of people? Well, again, we know that dedication is a habit. That dedication and persistence and will are habits that we can build. And it was known to God that, like, look at this guy Saul. He is so dedicated to the beheading of Christians that if I convert his heart, he'll have the same level of dedication to the spreading of my word and of my love, right? And that is where the beauty comes in, you guys. That to me explains why Saul was chosen, right? We have to be dedicated. We absolutely have to be dedicated to what's in front of us, lest we become lukewarm and gray, right? As opposed to being black or white, we're gray. We're neither, and that's not where you want to be. You're either black or you're white. You're either hot or you're cold. 100% or 0%. Don't 50% anything, ever. It's either 100 or 0 on everything. Even if you're relaxing, even if you're playing a video game, if you're reading fiction, if you are just indulging, just indulge. 100% indulge. No thoughts about what I'm going to do in 30 minutes. No planning ahead. Just be present where you are and let that momentum build, right? Now what I'm not saying is to don't keep track of your calendar. That's important. It's important to think ahead, schedule ahead, plan ahead, know what you're going to do tomorrow. But when I'm filming this video, when I'm here filming this video right now, this is what I'm focusing on, this is what I'm working on, and this is where my soul and my heart are pouring into. And I believe that that's a habit that every kid in our generation needs to understand. These Gen Zers, right? We've glorified entrepreneurship and business ownership, and we believe that to be busy leads to a successful life. And I don't believe that. I believe that getting things done leads to a successful life, whether you're busy or not. Me, myself, I have a buttload of free time. I spend a lot of time doing whatever I want, playing Battlefront 2, right, hanging out with friends, just sort of chilling, but I don't coast. I'm still working, I'm still getting things done, right? And that takes dedication. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna cut myself off there. Felt like this video needed to be made, and I hope that you understand my desire to include biblical references in this video, because it plays such a major role in society and in my understanding of the world and in my worldview. And dedicate yourself, you guys. Dedicate yourself to whatever's in front of you, whatever it may be, small or large. Everything requires your 100% full attention. God bless. Hope you enjoyed. I will see you around. Hope you learned something. Hope you gained from this video in some fashion. Hope you found some value. See you around.
Take a chance on me.